Hey guys, and welcome to my new movie review. Before I get started, if you'd be so kind, why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. And while you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, why don't you go ahead and click that bell for notifications. That way when I drop anything, it'll be yours on your device straight away. I really appreciate that. And speaking of appreciation, guys, I would so appreciate a thumbs up on this review. That way I know that you're enjoying my content. Thank you so much. Unhinged 2020 is rated MA 15+. The duration is 1 hour and 30 minutes long. It is a thriller and it is directed by Derek Bort. And the cast of Unhinged is Russell Crowe as the man, Jimmy Simpson as Andy, Karen Pistorius as Rachel, and the incredible young actor Gabriel Bateman as Kyle. Now guys, let's roll that synopsis. After a confrontation with an unstable man at an intersection, a woman becomes the target of his rage. So, like I said, tonight I went and saw Unhinged, and this is my thoughts on it. First of all, one of the things about this movie, and for anyone who's been following my YouTube channel for any period of time, you guys know that I personally, and it's a massive deal, it really, really is, to have character chemistry. Character chemistry in a movie specifically like this is so vital. It really, 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 really is. Because if you don't believe the relationship between the actors in the movie, then you're not convinced of the storyline, and it's so vital. Now, the guy who plays Uncle Fred and Rachel, I'm not even kidding you guys, I was really disappointed. I mean, I was really disappointed. So Fred is played by this guy here, Austin P. McKenzie. And I have to say, in this movie, guys, he is by far in every way, shape or form, the weakest character out of this entire film. Literally. Now, again, unfortunately, Kyle and Rachel's character, so Rachel in the movie is Kyle's mother, okay? Their character chemistry, I was not convinced in any way, shape or form at all that they were mother and son. Literally, I was not convinced for a second. I was quite disappointed actually, but Russell Crowe's character in this movie is, as I said at the beginning of this movie review, the man. Now, I unfortunately have to say, guys, in this movie, now, for anyone who's been following my channel for any period of time, I do not do spoilers. There's no spoilers in this review at all. I never do spoilers in my review because I don't believe that spoilers are fair. But I have to say this, the man, the parts in this movies that really hit home, and I mean they really hit home, are when he physically does stuff. Is when the man, Russell Crowe's character, physically does stuff to the other characters. That, for me, was a lot of the biggest parts of this movie that made me go, oh man. And I tell you what, guys, the budget of this movie went to the highway sequences. Like literally, because when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And those of you who have seen this movie, like when you watch it, the highway sequences, right? That would have cost a lot of money. Like seriously, that would have seriously taken up the budget. Now, there's moments in film where the villain does something so intense, so full on, so radical, so extreme, that us as an audience member get really emotionally involved. So where we start sitting there and we get angry and we just start cringing and start being like full, like really passionately into it. Now I have to say that element of me and the element that movie connected me with in this movie happened in, oh my gosh, literally the last 15 minutes of this movie in absolute spades. The man does something to Rachel's character, and this is where film editing and camera angling is so incredibly impeccable in a movie like this. The man is doing something to Rachel's character, but what the audience sees and what is actually going on in the scene is not the same thing at all. We see him doing something to Rachel's character, but in actual fact, if you rewatch the movie, which I'm about to get to that in a second, guys, if you rewatch the movie, you'll actually find that he isn't actually doing that. Really watching it up close and really paying attention to the camera angling and the editing, he's actually not. Now, in saying that, there are scenes in this movie where you physically see the man do something to Rachel's character and you're like, whoa, are you kidding me? And it's full on. It's really full on. Now, I wasn't unimpressed with the character of Kyle. I wasn't unimpressed, but I thought that I feel like his character lacked purely because of the character chemistry. Now, what I was just about to going to say before, guys, does Unhinged have the core element, essential thing that film needs to be film, in my humble personal opinion, guys? Does this movie have the thing, the core thing that makes Unhinged, ready? For those of you who have been following me for any period of time, you know exactly what I'm about to say right now. And that is, that's right, say it with me, rewatchability, guys. Does Unhinged have rewatchability, guys? And that I say to you, no. The last 15 minutes of this movie, yeah. But I felt that, and I'm really unfortunately going to say this, really, and I really do feel this is really unfortunate. It's the reality of the movie, but I felt like the opening sequence, the first opening half an hour. Now, I shouldn't say the first opening half an hour because the opening sequence is really, really powerful, and it makes you go, it really grabs the audience and pulls you in. But unfortunately, like I said, the character chemistry between the family was really, I felt it was. All film is subjective, guys. All film is subjective. I felt that was really, really weak. And it just didn't, what happens later in the film with their characters and each other, I wasn't emotionally invested at all because it felt flat. It really felt flat. And it was really unfortunate because I was like, I mean, it really didn't, it wasn't cemented. And I didn't specifically because of the fact of Rachel and Kyle, I didn't feel like they were mother and son. And because I didn't feel like they were mother and son, I really didn't feel like Rachel and Fred were brother and sister, like at all, because they just didn't, the way they come across on screen, I wasn't convinced. Not once in any way, shape or form, I was not convinced. And that's just how I saw the movie, guys. It is what it is. Would I recommend you go and see Unhinged? Purely because of the ending sequence, literally. And probably the opening, actually. And there's a montage after the opening sequence. So like the title cards of real life scenes of real things happening to real people, and it was like voiceovers and stuff. I thought that was pretty entertaining, but unfortunately the rest of the characters, it wasn't terrible. It's not terrible. It just really didn't, I don't know, there's so much about it that didn't convince me as an audience member. I didn't walk out being like, oh my gosh. I walked out being shocked because of the man, of how full on he was. And I have to say, guys, and I'm not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form, and it's a possibility of two things. There's two possibilities here. Russell Crowe's physicality really, really surprised me in this movie. And the reason why is because the last time I remember seeing Russell Crowe in a movie was my personal favorite superhero film of all time, Man of Steel. He plays Kal-El's dad, Clark Kent's dad, Kal-El's dad in this movie, but he was fit. Oh my gosh, was he so fit. But in Unhinged, he plays the Man, and oh my gosh, he really has completely let himself go. And I was really surprised, and maybe two things came to my mind. Two things. One was, I thought to myself, oh wait, no. He's wearing a fat suit. Like, he's wearing a fat suit, like a bodysuit. Like, yeah, no. He's not really that big. But then, the more I saw it and the physicality of the role and the end sequence, I was like, wow, maybe that is him. Wow, maybe that is Russell Crowe. Like, that's, wow. Yeah, okay, that's full on. That's really full on. But in saying that, guys, I wasn't overly disappointed with this movie. I found myself sitting there leaning against a chair like that, just chilling out, watching this movie. And as I said, the last 15 minutes really is captivating. It really, really brought me into the movie. But other than that, it's almost predictable. Like, it is almost predictable because, I saw that coming a mile away. Or there's sequences when they're driving on the highway and Rachel and Kyle are having interaction with each other, and they talk about something that eventuates in the movie that's leading to it, and it's kind of like, oh well, duh. Like, it's kind of like technology. You'll see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. But guys, there is literally, for you guys who have been following me, my channel for any period of time, you guys know that I love giving you guys trivia, and there's only one piece of trivia, and it's actually about the trailer. But before I go into that trivia, I just want to say this really one quickly. Speaking about the trailer is edited to this movie that it makes the movie look like something happens and it's totally out of sequence, and it's really effective trailer. But that sequence doesn't happen the way it happens in the movie at all. I'm not going to tell you what or why or how what, but that sequence of events don't happen that way at all in the movie, at all. But it's really well executed, like really well executed. For those of you who've been following me for any period of time, you guys know at a time it is in my movie review. Guys, it's trivia time. The trailer features a Nirvana's heart-shaped box from their 1993 album, In Utero. And that's it, guys. I appreciate you being here. You guys are amazing. That's all the trivia I have because that's all that's on IMDb. I know, right? Crazy. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you being here. I hope that you enjoyed my movie review. I hope you've subscribed, left a like, left a thumbs up. You guys are amazing. See you next time. This is Superman Steve, guys, bringing you this movie review for Unhinged. Flying out!